Hey guys, welcome to another Tip Tuesday. My name is Levi Briggs, and today I will be showing you how to create a test database to test version 13. We usually advise to test version 13 before making the jump, as it's a pretty big change from version 12 in terms of look and features. So we usually recommend for you to test just to get used to it and do some training before you make that commitment to jump in your production environment. So I will show you how to do this in SQL Server. So we can start off by opening up SQL Server Management Studio, and we will make a backup of our version of our current production environment. So I have IndySoft version 12. So you can right click, go to Task, Backup, and we will back up here. It'll back up to this path here, and it's set SQL Server C drive. So I'll just go ahead and hit OK. And now we have that backup, and then we can, while we're here, we can go ahead and restore. So right click onto databases, restore database, select device, add, and then this is, we can restore from that backup we just created. So we can hit OK here. And I will rename this to Tip Tuesdays because it'll be a different database. This will be our test. Or I'll just name it test database actually. And I'll go ahead and hit OK here. And I'll pause this while it's backing up or restore. Alright, so now we have two separate databases here. So we have a version, this is our production, this is going to be our test. And now you will want to get the version 13 installer from the customer portal. So you log into your customer portal, go to your products, and I'll start that process over here. It's going to be at IndySoft.com, customer portal. Log in, go to your products. I'm going to select commercial lab management and download. And we'll select the 64-bit. But I already have this on my computer, so I'll go to my File Explorer. And now the next thing we're going to want to do is go to your program files, and we're going to rename our existing IndySoft installation. We're going to rename that to version 12. And just to be safe, I usually will move this to a different location so it doesn't get overwritten by the installer. So you can move that to your desktop. And now we will go ahead and proceed with the version 13 installation. So we can go ahead and just run this installer, and I'll pause it because it needs to initialize. So I'll pause here and resume, and you can start the installation. Alright, it's going to prompt you, and you'll just keep clicking through next, and I think it asks you to accept the terms and conditions. You can just accept that and hit next, and this is where we're at now. We have the installation. It's installing it onto the computer. Alright, so now we're going to hit no because no database server has been set up yet, so we can just go ahead and finish that. And we can move our version 12 database or IndySoft client back to the program files. So wherever we paste the desktop, we can just cut, go to local disk, program files again, and then just put it back into this directory. So now we have a version 12 installation and a version 13. So now we're at the point where we can upgrade that test database. So we can go into the version 13 folder, which is called IndySoft, and go to database settings. Open up that application, and I named it test database. And you'll need to put it on the credentials that you have for SQL Server. So I use server authentication. We created a SQL user. You should already have this set up, server name, so we can test connection. It's saying it's successful, but we need to update the database. So we can now hit OK, go to ISUPDB, open up that application, and we can hit test connection again. This is just to confirm that we are on the database that we want to upgrade. So we are on test database. That's the one that we restored from our production. So we test connection, and once it's successful, you can hit OK, and we can proceed with this update. So I will use the IndySoft default account, but you can use any system admin account, and we can just go ahead and start this. I'll pause again here. Alright, so now the database upgrade is complete, but it's saying we had no errors But if you do have errors, make sure you save them. It gives you an option to save them to a text file or Excel, so make sure you save those. And if you have any issues with logging into the client or anything, you can reach out to our support inbox and we'll go through those errors and see. But I didn't get any errors, so now we can proceed. So now we have an upgraded test database that we can log into here. So we can go to ISF, or no, we can go to the IS dashboard. We can just log into IndySoft. And I'll use IndySoft generic password. And now we will need to get this registered. This is a brand new database for me, so I don't have it registered. But for you, it will be your licenses from your production environment will apply to this one for 90 days. So you'll be able to test for 90 days before you need to do a refresh and change your registration computer. So what we usually advise is for you to, we can allocate licenses from your production to your test. So you can have, say you have like 10 licenses, you can do 5 on test, 5 on production. So you can just, those would be separate environments and separate environment numbers. So you can just, they won't expire. But you should have 90 days to test with your licenses now. I just don't have any valid ones right now because I created a new test database for this. But that's the basic idea behind that. And now, if you want to be able to log in version 12, version 13 at the same time, you'll need to use a connection setting.ini file. Let me show you here. And you can actually generate one in database settings. So I went to the version 12 folder and I will go to database settings. And we will actually go to IndySoft version 12. This is going to be your production environment. So we can generate that here. We'll give this a name. We'll save up here. Actually, let me go back. And hit the save. And we'll name it connection settings. And it will save to, let's see, this is the path it's going to save to, so it's going to be users, public, documents, IndySoft. And go ahead and hit OK, and I'm going to pause it so I can find that file. Right, so here's the path that it's saved to, connectivity configurations, connection settings, so we can grab that file, cut, go back to your version 12 folder, and then you can simply just paste it in here. And now if we go back to our database settings, it's grabbing from that connection settings file, and you can't alter this. So this would be your production, your version 12. So if your version 12 will still be able to connect, you'll automatically connects to your production database with that connection file. So now your you won't have to go back into database settings and alter those settings. So now with that connection file, it'll automatically connect with that. And so IndySoft, this is going to be our upgraded 13 database. And we got to change that back. So this will be our upgraded. Let me go back in here just to double check. So this is our upgraded test database. We are connected there. And we will go to our 12 just to double check that again. And this is using our version 12, our production environment. So that's the basic idea behind that. You just back up your production environment, restore, rename it, run the ISFDB utility, and then provide that connection settings.ini in your version 12 so you don't have to alter the database settings every time you want to go back into 13 or 12. So that this is a way you can test versions. You can use version 12 still and test version 13 just to do some training and to get used to all the changes there. And your licenses should be valid for 90 days when you do this with your production environment, but we do certainly recommend that you have separate license environment numbers that we can allocate their own licenses to so you don't have to do that. I hope you found this useful, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you.